I was setting up outside and it's raining. So I moved inside. We're inside today, folks. Let's go. Just waiting for some people to show up. Hopefully, we get a great group of awesome people to hang out today. And I have a focus for today's live stream, or things I want to focus on. Money, boosting your income, lowering your expenses, and side hustles. So, while I'm waiting for some awesome people, hopefully, to show up, I've got my coffee. I'm ready to go. You might be able to hear our chickens, some of our chickens and our brooder in the background. I'm actually going to go throw them some food to hopefully quiet them a little bit. I'll be right back, folks. Food for the chickens. What do we have? Any food for the chickens? Any food for the chickens? Yes. Hopefully that will quiet the chickens down a bit. Carolina Kind 420 Homestead, what's up, brother? Welcome in. Happy you made it. Happy you made it. I stepped aside for a little bit there to feed our chickens we have in our brooder. Cheers, brother. Our pigs escaped. LOL. We just got the piglets in. They busted through electric fence fast, but we know where they chillin' at across the road. Ooh. Oh no. Hopefully you get them. Always survive. What's up, brother? Welcome in. Welcome in. Oh no. When we had pigs, we don't have them anymore. They escaped multiple times. Which makes me think of goats. I've heard from however many people that goats are like escape artists. That's one of the reasons, or the reason I do not want to raise goats. Even though goats are great, it definitely benefits the raising goats. Our goal as far as larger livestock is sheep. Audrey Lee NY8ZO said hi. Welcome in, Audrey. Always survive, my brother. Commenting an awesome comment. Hit the thumbs. Yes, the thumbs up. And another set in the incubator. Oh, we have 2 brooders going at the moment. I missed your first comment. Great job. We had 2 brooders going. One with chicks, smaller chickens, one with a little bit older, bigger chickens. And now we're down to 1 brooder and we have stopped hatching using our incubator. We're taking a break from hatching and just focusing on the chickens we have. Trying to make things happen. I'm seeing 3 likes. Thank you so much to whoever hit the like. And if you're here, if you're watching, please take a moment, hit the like. It's free, it's kind. Please do that. Yes, sir. The last goats we had was the full-size Nigerian and would run all over the highway. LOL. We getting Nubian dwarf now. Ooh. I still need chickens at some point. Yes, you do. Need them. Yes, sir. No more hatch sets this season. All right. All right. I've been wanting to get the chickens in the brooder out to the coop, but I'm going to do that at night when the chickens are, hopefully all the chickens that are out there would be inside the coop. Close the chicken door, lock them in the coop. And to any of you who raise chickens or want to raise chickens, anytime you introduce chickens to the coop, it's great to, I would say for at least 2 or 3 days, keep them cooped up. That will make it so that they're more likely to recognize the coop as their home and more likely to go back into the coop when the sun goes down or around sunset. And like our chickens, I actually think I need to replace our ramp to our chicken coop. I might have to replace that. It's a pretty good height. It's like maybe 3 feet, maybe even higher. So the smaller chickens might struggle to get inside. So have a good ramp and slash or make sure your chickens are big enough and capable of getting into your coop, however high the door is. Gunzilla said hi. Welcome in, Gunzilla. I'm sure I'll have plenty roosters for the freezer. We have plenty of roosters. We have too many roosters right now. And hopefully we'll be putting them in freezer camp, hopefully sooner rather than later. It's very important to have a right rooster to hen ratio. There's different numbers out there. You'll hear different things, right? People are full of different opinions. I would say the most, like the smallest, like you should have 1 rooster to 5 hens minimum, preferably 10 hens or more. Okay, you don't want to have too many roosters. Thanks. We have chickens. Awesome, Gunzilla. Chickens are great. I'm seeing 13 accounts playing this right now. That is awesome. If you're scrolling, stop scrolling. Stop scrolling right now. Hang out. Chill. We got Always Survive in the house. We got Carolina Kind Homestead in the house. 420 Homestead in the house. We got some cool people here. And I will be getting into the focus of the live stream very soon, which is money and side hustles. As far as money, boosting income, and lowering expenses, and perhaps being a great steward of your finances. Now, they might not be exciting topics for many people. However, they're important topics. And whether we like it or not, folks, knowing how to steward your finances is very important. Whether you want to be self-sufficient and you want a homestead, or you would just want to navigate everyday life without homesteading, you gotta think about money, right? Ideal is getting off the horrible system that exists in America and in other countries around the world as much as possible. Unplug from that. Produce your own things. Become a producer and less of a consumer. That is super important, super important. And we have an automatic door for the chickens. Awesome. We have an automatic door. We've been so busy, Gunzilla, we have not even put it up yet. Hopefully in the coming week or two, we'll be able to get that done. Was hoping piglets be a good side hustle, but they ran away. LOL. I'm sure we'll get them back. I really hope you do. I really hope you do. We had Kune, breeding pair of Kune. They produce piglets at least twice. And our pigs, the two of them, the breeding pair, were, I would say, a minimum of $1,400. And I won't get too much into explaining why. They had a great coefficient ratio as far as their genetics being different enough for a relatively rare breed. I highly recommend Kune as a breed if anybody does want to raise pigs. But we don't want to raise pigs. We are considering not eating pork anymore. That's a personal thing that my wife and I are figuring out and considering. Some chicken fly, actually, check it out. Invisible Force, welcome in. Technically, I think chickens, like all chickens, can fly. It's just they don't fly very high, or many breeds don't. There's I think it might be a Siberian breed or something like that, a Russian breed or a Northern Russian breed. I don't recall the name of it, but they are known to fly high and slash or far. So it depends on the breed, right? Some breeds, they just really can't fly much. Some of them fly better than others. The benefit of the breed that I was trying to remember the name of before is that apparently they're great at foraging, so that's a different benefit. But when they can fly like that, they are less likely to be eaten by predators. So you've got to manage them well. If you have them in a chicken run or a chicken yard, whatever you want to call it, then you've got to have some really high fencing. If you free range them, keep an eye on them. They might wander too far from the coop, maybe. Typically, chickens like to keep the coop within eyesight, their home within eyesight. But apparently, yeah, having that breed, I really should look up the name of it. The benefit is that they're able to get away from predators more easily than breeds that do not fly as well. Nice. These are Vietnamese potbelly. Okay, I think I've heard of potbelly pigs. Maybe I've heard of specifically Vietnamese potbelly pigs. I might not remember. I raised kuni kuni before, some good red marble meat and great lard. You are absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. Spot on, Carolina Con. They're known for having what I believe I've learned as described as old world red meat. So instead of like lighter colored, like pink or white, it's more like red. And I think they have pretty good marbling, and they're known as a lard pig. Now, some people might be thinking, why would somebody want to raise a pig that's known as a lard pig? Well, the fat is just as useful or arguably more useful for homesteading uses than the meat itself. So some people like to have a lot of fat. There's a cooking medium. I think you can make candles with it. There's different uses. And I'm not necessarily condoning raising pigs or anything. I'm just talking about what I have learned. Great dual purpose pig. Yes. And one of the benefits of kuni kunis is supposedly, and I believe this to be true from my observation, is they can graze up to like 70% of their diet. So for homesteaders chasing self-sufficiency, unplugging from that horrible system that I mentioned, if you believe it is theologically moral to eat pork, and if you think pork is a healthy meat, I'm not, it's up to you. Pray for discernment. Then kuni kunis are a great choice because you don't have to spend a lot of money on feed. They will graze a lot. Let me tell you, they will clean up, mow down a property relatively quickly. Joanne Gamel said hi. Welcome in, Joanne. Great rototillers too. Oh yeah. However, kuni kunis, being that the shape and slash or size of their noses, snouts, whatever, is relatively small compared to other breeds. They don't really root as much. They don't dig up and destroy property as much. Which, if you want to turn over some soil and you want to aerate some soil, if that's what you're looking to do, then those breeds that do dig up a lot, that might be a type of breed you might want to get. It's about your goals, right? All right. I'm seeing 5 likes. I think I might not have made a goal for number of likes, which is what I typically do in live streams. So first goal for number of likes is I'm going for 10. Let's do it. Let's do it. 10 likes. Let's double the number of likes that I'm seeing now on my phone. I'm seeing 5. Let's get to 10. I'm going to be going for a little bit, at least 20, 30 minutes more, most likely. So if you folks would be so kind, please share this out. Share this out on maybe Facebook, share it out on here on YouTube, share it out on whatever social media. Hopefully we'll get some cool people to join the conversation. Yes, they're all about goals and personal preferences. Absolutely. Absolutely. And Carolina Kind, I am so sorry. I am not remembering your name at this moment. What's your name? If you feel like sharing. If not, I respect your privacy, sir. Vase plays sixth like Colin. Hey, Willie and Colin. Oh, so maybe Carolina Kind's name is Willie, the person's who owns that channel. Maybe his name is Willie. Vase Place, folks, her name is Verna. She's awesome. She's my buddy. Verna's really cool. I've known Verna for a while now. Happy you made it, Verna. Yep, Carolina is Willie. All right, thank you so much, Verna. You're awesome for letting me know that. And pardon my memory. I've mentioned in previous live streams, I struggle with names at times. Don't be offended. It does not mean I don't like you. It does not mean I don't know you. Names. I struggle with remembering names at times, which is not good, being that I work in hospitality. I'm just keeping it real, folks. CK or Willie, whatever you want, as long not late for dinner. Excuse me. All right, I'm seeing 6 likes. All right, I saw, yeah, and Verna actually just mentioned before she was the sixth like. I think I'm struggling to say that. Everyone, stop what you're doing right now and say sixth like 5 times fast. I'm gonna do it. Sixth like, sixth like, sixth like, sixth like, sixth likes. I think I failed. Oh, I make myself laugh. Hey, life is too short not to laugh, right, folks? Vase plays. Colin, it only gets worse as you get older, LOL, speaking from experience. JDM, good evening. Welcome in, JDM. It's afternoon here in Missouri. Where are you from, JDM, that it's evening where you are, if it is evening? Round here, everyone is either called Terry or Cat, LOL. I'm seeing 10 accounts playing this right now. If you're scrolling, stop scrolling. We got some cool people here, folks. We got Willie from Carolina Kind. We got Verna from Vay's Place. We got Andy from Always Survive. If my buddy, my homeboy Andy is still here. All right. Some other people stop by. So far, people are being kind. Haven't had any trolls. ... Ellipsis or whatever that's called. Yet, assuming we might get a troll or trolls. It's 2:34 a.m. in Japan. Oh, wow. Welcome in from Japan. So JDM, you might have assumed it's evening here. It's 12:34 p.m. Central Time, Missouri. Welcome in from Japan. Assuming you're from Japan. JDM, I can't understand what you're typing. Interesting. I'm seeing 6 likes. Let's get it to 10. That's my goal. I think my first goal for a number of likes. You are 11 hours ahead of me. All right. Hey, I just want to take a moment and thank all of the people who are here. So thank you so much for being here. I'm happy you chose to hang out with me and the other awesome people here. Yes, I'm in Japan. Very, very cool. I love when people from all different countries join live streams. Really, really cool. Hey, social media, right? Pros and cons, right? One of the pros, a lot of people talk about the negatives of social media, and there are some negatives. One of the pros is that you can easily connect with and communicate with people from all over the world. And I think that's amazing. Learning different perspectives, having access to different perspectives, learning about different cultures, how things are done in different parts of the world, what's important to people in different parts of the world. All cool things. Carolina Con, 1:34 here, Eastern Carolina. Or maybe Eastern Time, Carolina. Have you visited in Japan? No, I have not. And I'll share something personal without getting too much into it, is I plan on never flying again. I won't get into my reasons why I plan on never flying again, but I plan on never flying again, which is sad in a way or ways. But before I actively and / or passively made the decision to never fly again, Japan was one of the countries I wanted to visit. It was probably in my top 5, maybe even top 3, maybe even number 1. When I was younger, let's say maybe 3 decades ago, give or take, I trained in martial arts my whole life, and I still train on occasion. But I was training in martial arts. And I became like an Asiaphile. I believe I was just in love and very interested in Asian culture. And Japan, China, probably those 2 countries in particular. Being that like kung fu and different branches, schools of kung fu are from Asia, I immersed myself in learning about that stuff. And if you walked into my room as a teenager, like 15 years old and younger, had like red walls and it was black, and I had like samurai swords, and I think there was maybe a Bruce Lee picture or quote or something up. It was very much Asian. Yeah. So there's a little about me stuff, random about me stuff. We are same time, Willie. GMTA, Colin. All right, let me think. All right, I don't know. I can't figure out what that means. If I have learned what GMTA means, I think I forgot. Someone please explain to me. There are always ships. Excellent point, Verna. Excellent point. And it's interesting you say that. Maybe it's interesting to me at least, because I've actually been thinking about maybe the past few months or a year or so going on a cruise, an international cruise. That would be the chance for to bring mine and my wife's beautiful, perfect, amazing sons to a different country without having to fly. And I've never been on a cruise, so I think it might be cool. I've heard different opinions about cruises, but I've never done it. I would love to go on a cruise. Some people are scared of the water, or they're fearful about being on boats and have fear of large bodies of water. I would say, I get anxiety, and it perhaps could be correctly described as fear when it comes to flying. And I've flown many times, however many times, but at some point in my life, it's a no go for me. I decided it's a no go for me. But I don't mind going on boats. Some people don't like going on boats. To each their own, you know. Great minds think alike. Oh, I like that, Verna. Thank you so much for. I won't fly either. Yeah. I'll say something, and this is not to bring fear. It is rather to provoke thought. I've been paying attention, like I do, about many things in life. I've been paying attention, and although one could perhaps correctly argue that you have a higher chance of crashing in a vehicle on the road than you do getting in a plane crash. I think that's statistically true. However, I'm in control of the vehicle, or my wife might be in control of the vehicle. And that means something to me. That's what I prefer. And I prefer to drive. And I've noticed over the years, and I've studied this from different angles, different perspectives. They're not picking the best and brightest pilots anymore, and there seems to have been an uptick in number of crashes. I remember, let's say maybe, I don't know, I'm gonna throw a number out there. 15 years ago, 20 years ago, it was very rare for plane crashes, and it seems like they happen a lot now, or not a lot. I mean, relatively a lot. I don't want to say it's a lot, but with airlines struggling financially, having maybe equipment checked less frequently, they're not checking the equipment as well. Pre-flight checks. It's hard to get good pilots, maybe more difficult than it used to be. Different factors, and with when budget cuts happen and when businesses struggle financially, I logically assume, to use an economics term, an externality of that, or a side effect of that, is less safe. That's just my thoughts, which could be however much incorrect. JDN, you should visit Shibuya someday if you get a chance. Shibuya. Colin, here is a mystery. I'll go back and catch the replay of the live stream to check out the whatever video you shared, Verna. Tightening their belts so the rich get richer. It is the patrons that suffer. Yes. B-52 just crashed yesterday. All 8 of crew died and 2 airport employees. So 10 people. That's sad. That's so sad. Heartbreaking. What a scary way to die. Ho, ho, ho. Oof. Don't mind me. I'm just doing something, folks. All right. 8 likes. Awesome. Thank you to whoever hit the like. Thank you so much. And share it out. I'm going to stay on here for a little bit. I think it's about time I get into the topic or topics that I wanted to talk about. I'm about to do that. So, money. Some people love talking about money. Some people avoid the conversation as much as possible. I get it. What I do know is that the working people in America and probably around the world, remember, we live in a very global world. We're so interconnected with other economies. No country is an island into itself, literally or figuratively. When America struggles, other countries struggle as a result. And with inflation, this is not an opinion, with inflation rising quickly, just look it up. People are struggling. And with the powers that be and like the schmurled, schmeconomic, schmorum, for example, I did that on purpose. I probably have a reason or reasons for doing it that way. Or just telling people get another job, get a second job, get a third job. And the reality is a lot of people that were 6 years ago or more, comfortable, financially comfortable, people that went on 2 or 3 vacations a year, had 2 or 3 vehicles, had a toy or toys, the boat, the jet ski, the whatever. People like that were previously comfortable are struggling. And it is a fact that American credit card debt is the highest it has ever been. That is alarming, especially considering that many credit card interest rates, if they're not considered usurious or usury, if it's not considered usury, it should, I think, or maybe, 18 to like 30%. That is insane. So now a lot of people are using credit cards to put food on the table. Credit card maybe used to be more likely used for like a vacation or an expensive dinner. Now people are like, hey, if we want to eat, we have to use a credit card. Which is one of the reasons people should be trying to produce at least some of their own food. Something. Grow some herbs. Do something, right? Vase Place, my video appointment did not show, so I was glad to catch you live. Oh, so I assume Verna might mean that the live stream announcement or whatever scheduled live stream did not show up for her. Rising prices with shrinking products. Absolutely. And you brought up an excellent point, Verna. Shrinking products. A lot of people, they've been paying attention. They've been maybe studying. And they notice the prices going. They notice inflation, but they're not noticing what's called shrinkflation. I'm looking at a box of cereal right now. Cereal, potato chips, a lot of things that people used to buy. They're not only charging you more, they're giving you less. Pay attention to net weight. And there's a channel that I found, I don't recall if it was YouTube perhaps or Facebook, that this guy goes and he brings a scale. It's legit. He zeros out the scale. It's all done on camera, and how they're just blatantly lying about the weight of different things. And this guy goes into dollar stores, Walmart, wherever. And I'm not talking like normal human error, normal manufacturing error, 3 to 5% off. I'm talking like 20+% less than the package says. That's theft. There's nobody's gonna tell me that those corporations don't know what they're doing. Come on. Come on. Why even have the weight on the packaging? And that's what trying to be fair. That's what trying to be fair and consider that machines don't always work well, right? People. You got humans. Hey, we're all flawed. Nobody's perfect. You're going to make mistakes. That's what taking those aforementioned things into consideration. It's theft. It's theft. If I was selling our home as is, and that means that we're only actually going to sell them three-quarters of our home. I mean, come on. That might be a bad example, but be honest. That's all. If you're going to smash us over the head with the crazy prices, be honest about it. At least make the number be correct or close to it. Close to it, rather, because it's not ever going to be spot on. I refused to get a credit card. Good for you. No, it was a video medical. Oh, I hope you're well, Verna. Yeah, and he doesn't count the tear that they are supposed to subtract. The tear is that the package weight or something. I'm trying to remember what that means. Hi, welcome in, Shawnee. Listening in now to see if I have anything to add. I'm at the garden shelling peas. Very grateful. Awesome job being productive, Shawnee. Good job. Great job, rather. But the machines are supposed to be perfect, and that is what weighs their product that is going in the containers. Well, yeah, I mean, perfect in the sense of like connotation of like very, very close to correct. But I mean, 0.1, 0.001, whatever. It's never going to be perfect, but it's impossible for these major corps to be unaware that they're getting 20% or less net weight than the packaging says. I mean, come on. Come on. That should anger people. Straight up. And a lot of people, they're so asleep and they don't care. But when you're struggling to pay the bills and you want to buy a bag of beans that's supposed to be a pound and you're getting three-quarters of a pound, you should be angry. You should be angry. Tears the packaging. Okay, yeah, that's what I might have thought. They do it on purpose because they think everyone are blind sheep. I absolutely agree, Verna. A lot of people don't care. And a lot of people, they don't realize, like for me, I work in the restaurant industry, and my wife and I owned a restaurant for a short period of time, relatively short period of time, and I pay attention to food prices. I would say more than the average person. My wife and I, really pay attention. And a lot of people, if they buy a little bit here and there, hey, your $30 bag of groceries now is 43. You might not think about it much. When you're buying in bulk and you're getting the same stuff you did 2 or 3 years ago, and it's costing you 30% or more, then you might realize. You are inside today. Yes, it's raining here. Thankful for the rain. It's kind of gloomy, though. Kind of gloomy today. I like my sunny days, but hey, I'm thankful for the rain, though. The old way was the weight listed was the minimum of the weight of the product. Yeah, net weight. It's supposed to be the weight of the product. So what are people doing? Well, a lot of people are really, they have to pay rent. If they pay rent, pay their mortgage, put food on the table. They're taking second jobs, third jobs, side hustles. Now, we could complain about it, and it's horrible that people have to do that. It's horrible that people have less and less time with their families, less and less discretionary time to do great things. But the reality is, the math ain't mathin'. If you approach it in a formulaic manner, how incomes have been rising compared to inflation, relative to inflation, the math ain't mathin'. And people are struggling. So side hustles, it's a big thing. Becoming content creators is a big thing. People doing immoral, disgusting things. Historically, and also maybe common sense, should be logical. When times are tough, people do more bad things. And with what I think is coming in America, we're going to see a serious increase in violent crimes and thefts and all kinds of really horrible things. That's my opinion. And I think an educated opinion. 10 likes. Let's go. Thank you to everybody who hit the like. You're awesome for hitting the like. So, side hustles. A lot of people are finding ways to make money online. Content creation is very popular, possibly trending. Using apps to make money. Hey, it might be $3 a month, $7, 20, $30 a month. People are doing different things because they have to. Getting a second job, a third job. Hopefully people will be entrepreneurial and try to make things happen for themselves, become their own bosses, which is not easy. It's not easy. A lot of times it takes money to make money. So people don't have, when they're struggling already, they don't have the capital to get a business going. With hard work, okay, creativity, it's still possible. Sure, you can get a rake some leaves, get a push mower, make some money, upgrade to a ride-on mower. Okay, there's things you can do. There's things you can do to scale businesses. But that's challenging to do when people are already working 40, 50, 60-hour weeks, right? Let's be realistic. People have to do the best they know how to do to take care of their families, and some of the ways they choose is not good. Absolutely. That's reality. That's reality. That's reality. Entrepreneurial people are going to be some of the people who are better off in the coming times. You've got to be creative. You've got to be competitive. And I think something that is not covered enough, I think in at least some situations in public school, not covered at all, is salesmanship. Hear me out. No matter what you do, in any business capacity, and even as an employee, salesmanship, it's a skill. Let me tell you, understanding the psychology of salesmanship, how to create win-win situations, how to find what people need, find what people really want without pushing things on them. Sales. You're a plumber. You've got to learn about sales and marketing. Okay? Otherwise, you're going to be sticking between 60 to 120K a year or whatever. The really successful ones know about business, and they don't teach about business in schools. Think of it this way, and I just saw something recently about this. They will give someone, a young person, 18 years old, $100,000 of student debt with big question marks as far as if they'll ever even get a job, if and when they'll even make any money, if and when they'll make enough money to pay that back. They'll do that to keep them in the system, right? But to get a $15,000 business loan, I don't know if you folks know. And I'm not talking about grants, I'm talking about loans. They're really hard, and it's a lot of work, from my experience, to get them. But even with a formulaic business plan, a solid business plan, something very simple like input, output, like I'm going to buy a $5,000 lawnmower. Here's my business plan. I could expect to pull in 30K per month, whatever it is. Even with the collateral, they're not giving those loans out as frequently. But here you go. For an education that might be a relatively useless education as far as the market goes and getting a job. Yeah, sure. Here you go, Johnny. 200K of debt. You'll be paying this off for a decade, 15, 20, 30 years. Come on. Public schools does not teach any useful life skills. I know. How to pay taxes. How to open a business entity like an S Corp or any corp. About amortization loans, mortgages, vehicle loans, credit scores, FICO scores. Things that are actually going to be really, really important in life. You think that's by accident? You think it just hasn't happened? Like, do the research on the modern public school system, where it comes from, who it comes from, and why it exists the way it does. And you might get angry. how to keep books, how to save, how to cook, how to plan. Exactly, Verna. Those are everything you wrote. Those are all amazing things that everybody should have, the fundamentals in their brains. And they did have what was known at times, some places as technology, also AKA wood shop previously, maybe home economics, home ec. Learn how to cook, learn how to bake, learn how to turn raw ingredients into meals, right? They got rid of those. They got rid of those. I learned things in technology, how to use certain types of tools, how to build things. Got rid of them. Modern school system was set up to teach people to follow orders to work in factories. That is a historical, irrefutable fact. You're right. You're spot on, Berna. Spot on. Home ec also taught you how to sew, how to budget for your home, etc. Oh, yes. And you're right. How to sew. I remember that, which is a great skill. It's like a lost skill. I mean, there are still some people who know how to do that, but if somebody gets a hole in their jeans and they could just simply sew it and it's fine, it works, whatever. Mending clothes. I'm not talking about full blown like tailoring skills, right? I'm talking about learning how to just sew something, mend a piece of clothing. What do they want you to do? Go spend $80 or more on a designer pair of jeans, $100, $200 on a pair of jeans because you got a hole in your jeans. Instead of trying to not keep up with the Joneses and live within your means, be responsible and fix what you've got. Just saying. Just saying. How to take old clothes apart and make new clothes out of the good fabric. Absolutely. And that is something, what you just wrote, Verna, that's something that was very common 50 years ago and earlier. That was very common. People knew that. They knew how to do stuff. It was amazing how many skills, like my grandparents, my great grandparents, and the older generations, it's amazing how many skills they had compared to people nowadays. It's amazing the amount of knowledge, useful knowledge they had compared to people nowadays. I've said in the past, and it's been at least partially a joke, but probably at least partially serious, that there are people that will starve without DoorDash. Straight up. Straight up. And that's concerning. Convenience is nice at times, sure. But this immediate gratification that our society has for so many different things has actually weakened us. It's dumbed us down. We use the community to learn in our homeschooling, sewing classes, frequent trips to the library, encouraging children in the kitchen. Papa has a woodworking shop, the gardens, of course. All great stuff, Shawnee. Thank you for that great comment. Thank you for that great comment. The first thing that I had ever sewn on my own, I took a pair of pants that I had outgrown and made it into a jacket for my infant. That is awesome. That is awesome. Great job, Verna. Great job. Yeah, stuff like that. Right, right. Those skills, right? Wow. It's amazing. Think of this. I saw something recently, it was a post. Maybe it was on Facebook about like gardening is not political or something. And it was like making fun of people who say, or saying that if people are incorrect to say gardening is not political. Then it showed a bunch of like, bunch of things, flyers, banners, whatever, that were from the Victory Garden age, when our own government was encouraging people. Like one of the things might have said, food is ammunition or something, was encouraging people to produce food because food production was not where it needed to be during the war. And if you look at the statistics of how many people used to grow their own food, or at least some of their own food rather, to how many people do now, it's very scary. There's so many people who have never planted a seed in their lives, but they can, with ease, order DoorDash. I don't think that's good. I think that's horrible. Hand sewn, as I didn't have a sewing machine. Nice. How about Eisenhower that said every home should have 25 chickens? Now look at the laws. Wow, excellent point. I maybe didn't remember about that thing from Eisenhower, but yeah, look at the laws. Back in New York, they made it prohibitively difficult, where it's like you needed 100. You need to have. I don't remember the number. I'm gonna throw something out there, but it might have been something like you need to have your chickens 100 feet away from every building or something. Highly populated New York, that's impossible. Impossible. So we may or may not have gotten chickens anyway. The dumber man is not going to tell me what I can and can't do when it comes to providing food for my family. Especially when we did not have roosters. I mean, if we had chickens at all. They were quiet, relatively hidden. Not a problem at all. Not a problem at all. If anything, they probably got rid of how insect control in the neighborhood or in our little area or whatever. That's if we ever had them. Maybe could be what happened. I'm just saying. Yeah, they make it prohibitively difficult. So many urban families struggling if they had 3, 4, 5 chickens in a tiny coop in their backyard. You've got guaranteed superfood. Guaranteed superfood. They don't want that. I think the problem is a lot of people, they'll notice the problems and then they either trust so much, maybe they trust so much that they think it's impossible for people to be so evil to have bad plans and agendas. Maybe they're just ignorant, they just don't know. But they think that it's just, the problems just happen to be coincidental. That there's no malevolent hand in all of this stuff we're talking about. Oh, it's sad. I think there's some people that are such good people. They're really good people. And because they're good people and they would never do horrible things, and they're not control freaks like a lot of the powers that be are, they just don't even think that people would do those evil things. Because they're such a good person. Like, I don't think anybody would ever do that, and it's sad. A lot of times when people are asleep, as I call it, it's not because they're just idiots. A lot of times they're just such good people, they think everyone else is good, or they think most people are good. Look at all the things I had done, Colin. Living in an apartment and I was raising quail and rabbits, LOL. Exactly. Exactly, Verna. You were making things happen in an apartment. That was amazing when you were doing that stuff. That's inspirational. That's inspirational. All right. Well, I am going to finish up. Had a relatively small group for this one, but we got into some things. Didn't get too much into the planned topic or topics, but that's all good. Touched base on some things. Had some great conversation. Had some awesome people here. I'm going to finish up and go take care of our chickens and our rabbit and maybe do some gardening and then go to work. Have a blessed day and enjoy life. Verna, hey, stay safe. Take care. Prep up. Shawnee, if you're still here, all the same things that I said to Verna to you. You're awesome. Verna, Shawnee, you're both awesome. I hope you both have an awesome day. Stay safe, please, and I'll see you around. Hey, if you folks did not see the recent microgreen video, I did kind of like a broad overview of microgreens, trying to make it approachable to people so that they're not like, so they realize it's actually relatively easy. I'm eating strawberries in the garden. Beautiful. Oh, that's a great reminder of me to get some strawberry plants. Maybe I'll do that before I go to work, just place an order. Happy you wrote that. All right, I'm going to go, and this was good. Thank you so much. Everybody hit the like. Everyone who is active in the comments. Everyone who played this, even if you weren't active in the comments. If you played this, thank you. And as always, most importantly, first and foremost, God is great. Take care, everybody.